This is unique because other celebrities, public figures, influencers have faced charges before for similar things, but they faced civil charges, whereas Mr. McAfee is facing criminal charges. So that is certainly an interesting variable in this case.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the largest crypto channel in all the interwebs. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money with cryptocurrency. If you like money in crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. In this video, I brought on an attorney for John McAfee to talk about his case against the SEC and all of the charges that he's facing. We're going to also be talking a lot about crypto regulation and about how in this space it can be quite scary when there's no precedent to know what you're supposed to do. Taxes and regulation are not always fun to talk about, but it's definitely stuff you need to know about. So let's jump in with Max and see what he has to say about John McAfee case, taxes, and beyond. Hey guys, welcome. I'm so glad to be joined by Max Markov. He is an attorney with Gordon Law. Gordon Law has been a little bit in the news lately, and we can talk about that here in a bit. But I want to start with this, Max, which is we just got some big news this week that there's a big, they're calling it the crypto council forming between several large companies. And they're talking about like going to Washington and lobbying for new crypto regulation and more clarity on laws and stuff like that. How do you view crypto regulation? Do you think this is something that we need more of, less of? Does it make your life easier, harder? What are your overall thoughts on something like this to affect crypto laws?
I think we certainly need more clarity on crypto regulation generally and what people's tax reporting obligations are. We've certainly come a long way since 2014 when crypto was first classified as property, and the IRS has issued subsequent guidance since then. But crypto, as you know, changes so fast. Last summer, we saw DeFi just come on the scene. People were using Uniswap. Crypto changes so fast. So there's certainly a need for at least, increased regulation or at least increased advising on what the reporting obligations are.
Yeah, I mean, it changes so fast. Like if you just look back at what happened a few years ago when it was really easy to get away with hiding your crypto. I didn't do it, but a lot of people were hiding crypto, and it wasn't, 2013, 2014, things started getting a little more serious. But I do think it's definitely something we need more clarity. And I know as like someone who is a cryptocurrency YouTuber talking about different projects, and we always disclose on this channel. I'm very transparent about that. We disclose what we're invested in. We showed our whole portfolio and things like that a few weeks ago. For me, like it's kind of hard because if you are a stock YouTuber, like the regulation, what you got to say, your disclaimer. But for crypto YouTubers, like we're feeling around in the dark trying to do the best we can. And one person who made the news recently that was kind of doing the same thing was John McAfee. I've had him on my show a few times, and he's actually facing some charges from the SEC, and you guys are actually representing him. You made big news on Twitter putting that out last week. And so just if you give us an overview of what are the questions around John McAfee, and then, how you view the case at this point.
Absolutely. So John McAfee has retained our firm to represent him, and we're representing him in two cases. There's a case from the DOJ and the SEC out of New York that alleges two things. Essentially, one, that he orchestrated a pump and dump, and two, that he promoted tokens without disclosing that he had a financial interest in them. Yeah. And this is interesting from our perspective because this is unique because other celebrities, public figures, influencers have faced charges before for similar things, but they faced civil charges, whereas Mr. McAfee is facing criminal charges. So that is certainly an interesting variable in this case. And the other case is out of Tennessee, and this is with respect to unfiled taxes and unreported income substantially related to crypto. And the interesting part here is kind of as we pointed out at the beginning of this video, is that the time frame for these charges is 2014 to 2018, when there was certainly less clarity around 2014. Right at the top of the video, we kind of said that it was 2014 when the IRS recognized crypto as property, and there were changes since then. So this just kind of goes back to the point of reporting obligations have been unclear, especially early on. They're getting more clear now, and we certainly need more guidance in the future.
Yeah. So it brings up an interesting question. I was just sitting here thinking about, like, does this, they're charges from the SEC, right? So would that not kind of mean that like whatever coins they would be talking about would have to be securities? Like if something's not a security, then do the same laws kind of apply? Like if you have a financial interest? Because I think that's where the lack of clarity on the regulation, I think, really starts rearing its head.
Right. This is sort of a tough one to answer. Generally, we have seen that crypto is not a security.
Right.
But
Property.
we even saw, right, it's property. But we saw recently with Ripple that the SEC has come out and said, hey, we kind of think you need to register as a security, so you better do it. So, it's kind of tough to say, but I think that even just, again, goes to show just there is a lot of ambiguity in the earlier years of crypto as far as tax reporting.
Yeah, but I mean, I would argue we're still in that world of ambiguity. Like,
Right.
We still don't know if XRP is a security or not. And then if XRP is declared not a security, then the reverberating effects that would have down the board. If XRP is not a security, then I don't think an argument for almost any coin out there could be a security, because XRP is, no offense to the XRP people. I mean, we've talked about it this week on the channel, but it centralized. The people who started it have more than half of the tokens. Half of the nodes on the network are owned by them, or more than half. So if that's not a security, then what the heck, would be declared a security?
Right. And it's difficult to say because there hasn't really been a court case, a court ruling for us to point to some judicial history. One test that people point to is called the Howey test.
Mm-hmm.
And that just generally refers to, that's the test that courts generally use about whether something is a security. And we haven't had a court case tested on a cryptocurrency yet. So we don't really have any case law to point to.
Wow.
So you can make those arguments, and people will probably make those arguments that you just pointed out. Who's to say how a court will come out on it? It's impossible for us to speculate.
So are you saying that I should be in charge of making the decision?
I think so. I think that's
Obviously.
Exactly what I'm saying.
I think it is. We'll put out a video. We'll tell them what to do about it. But I mean, it's something, it's so amazing when you really look at how groundbreaking what you guys are doing with these cases is, because we don't have the precedent, in anything to be able to point and know what's going to happen. And I know it's got to make your job harder, but then also it's, on one hand, I guess as an attorney, it's got to be kind of exciting to take part in something like this, because you guys are going to play a major role in the future of cryptocurrency, I believe.
Right. And when you're reporting cryptocurrency, a lot of positions that we've taken have been trying to look at existing tax law and take a legitimate position saying, trying to analogize to current tax law. And there isn't firm answers on a lot of things. Some things there are very clear answers. For example, when you purchase crypto with US dollars, it's pretty clear. It's very clear. That's not a taxable event. There's no reporting obligations there. You can, on Coinbase, connect your bank account, connect your debit card, buy Bitcoin, no tax obligations. But the moment you sell it for USD and the moment you trade one crypto for another, that is reportable, and that is potentially taxable depending on whether or not you had a gain or a loss compared to when you got it. So there are some things that are very clear, very black and white, no issue. Other things, a lot more ambiguous. How are liquidity pools handled? How are, a lot of these, different types of DeFi platforms
running a node
to be handled from a tax perspective?
Yeah, like
running a node.
Yeah, that's something we experience. I mean, we have to go through we run a node for IOST, and just kind of, it's all interesting stuff, and there's costs involved, and, you're making a profit, but, it's just, what's taxable, what's not taxable. And we're hopefully in the next 3 to 4 years, we'll have much more clarity. But I think what you guys are doing with John McAfee case will have, a decent effect on that. What has that been like for you, like for the Gordon Law Firm, which, by the way, I recently talked to somebody in Chicago, and they told me that they knew exactly who Gordon Law was. And they said, you guys are like really blowing up and doing really great work. So shout out to you guys for that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So have you guys seen like a lot of attention coming to you guys, based off of representing John McAfee? I mean, he's one of the, for better or for worse, he's definitely one of the most recognized people in all of crypto.
Right. And We've certainly been busier than ever, and I don't know if it's because of representing Mr. McAfee, but it's becoming abundantly clear, and people know that they have tax reporting obligations, and it is currently tax season. The tax deadline was extended from April 15th to May 17th, and people are realizing that they have reporting obligations and that they were engaged in crypto activity for years, and that they might even have to go back and amend and look at their previous year's history. And it's okay. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid of that. I think one maybe misconception is you should be more afraid to not report. One news story we saw recently is that Poloniex, which is a subsidiary of Circle, there was a court case that said that the IRS could issue a John Doe summons to them, meaning that people who met certain criteria, Poloniex or Circle, would have to hand over information to the IRS about them. So this is people who were operating on the exchange from 2016 to 2020 and who conducted at least $20,000 worth of transactions. This is unique because normally a summons has to be targeted. There has to be some degree of specificity, but a John Doe one is more general, and people who meet these requirements will have information handed over to the IRS. This is also something we've seen before. This happened with Coinbase. This exact thing happened with Coinbase. Same thing. People who transacted over a certain amount over a certain time period got their information handed over to the IRS. What's even more interesting is that the IRS kind of showed their playbook a little bit already with what they did. First, they issued a series of warning letters. There was a series of letters, 6174, 6174A, and 6173. All of that means is that some of these required responses, some of them didn't. They said, hey, you may have underreported your income with respect to crypto before, and you might need to fix that. Then they came out with a more aggressive letter called the CP 2000, where it was more or less.
That sounds like a Star Wars droid.
It does sound like a Star Wars droid. I don't know if it's quite as deadly, but they said it wasn't quite a bill, but they said, we think that you owe this amount unless you can prove otherwise. And so people put the onus on the taxpayer to say, hey, I had all these other exchanges, I had all these other things, I have cost bases all over the place, and I owe substantially less than this. So it will be interesting to see how the IRS responds to this Poloniex summons. Will they go to the warning letters, then to the CP 2000s? Will they go straight to CP 2000s? It's hard to say, but they showed their playbook to some extent with Coinbase previously.
Yeah, and I think that this just hammers home the point that I make on the channel all the time. When you're transparent, when you don't try to hide stuff, when you put it out there, you're probably going to be okay. If you think you've got stuff hiding in the dark, eventually it's probably going to come out. And the government has shown they're going to try to sniff it. And if you use an exchange during these years where they're going to want to know what you did, then they're going to figure it out. And, obviously if you're on the level where, you traded $200 worth of crypto, then you know what, you might be fine. But if you've been trading, thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars of crypto, you better make sure you got all your P's and Q's, checked off.
Right. And even if you have small amounts, once you get into the actual reporting, it's not as scary as it sounds. No, it's really it's a little bit of paperwork. It's not that scary, and it helps you sleep at night, quite frankly.
Absolutely. Like we don't worry about anything because we know we do everything above ground. And it's just like one of those things where I couldn't imagine if I was like constantly thinking about like, oh God, what if they find this or they do that? That's no way to live your life. And that's, you apply that principle to a lot of stuff out there. But, so let's talk just briefly here about like what you guys do at Gordon Law. And I know we just had TaxBit on the channel yesterday talking about automation and software. I know you guys kind of do it like a more, personal touch. Like you guys have people that are actually, TaxBit has people too, customer service too. But you guys, are working with a lot of different people for a lot of different things, a lot of ranges of, different incomes and different careers and professions in crypto. But you could just kind of give like an overview of what you guys do, what kind of person, would be looking to reach out to you, and then how they would do that.
So we work with wide ranges of clients, with people all different skill levels of their use of cryptocurrency. We have people who have just bought and held with USD. Like I said earlier, no reporting obligations. scaling up a little bit from there. Maybe they've made some trades and then therefore triggered reporting obligations. So that's sort of the casual investor. We have people that have bots that are making, hundreds of trades a day, thousands of trades, tens of thousands of trades a year. We handle those types of people. We've been expanding our crypto for businesses more and more. People are transacting in crypto. They're accepting crypto as payment. They're potentially paying people in crypto. And so we've handled those types of business clients really all over the place is the types of clients we deal with. And as far as how to reach us, I mean, you can come to our website, gordonlawltd.com. You can email me personally, Max M as in Max, at gordonlawltd.com. Or you could follow us on Twitter too, at gordonlawltd.
I know that, we've talked in the past, and I definitely am a big fan of Gordon Law and what you guys do, and highly recommend you guys as people to know what you're doing. And I mean, guys, let's face facts. Like, if this is who John McAfee goes to help him with his stuff, I can assure most of you probably do not have as big of an issue going on as John McAfee. So if he trusts them and his team trusts you guys to do the work, then, I know I would definitely trust you guys as well. So thanks, Max, so much for coming on the show. I think it's been very insightful. I think these conversations about regulation and taxes and all that is definitely something that's very necessary out there. So anything you want to add?
No, I mean, thanks a lot for having me on. Certainly a call to action is that people, watching your channel, you've bought and sold crypto, you have tax reporting obligations. We're in the middle of a bull run. You've probably made some money. You don't want to face penalties and things like that and have, hard work taken away from you. So, I mean, definitely be tax compliant.
Yeah, definitely. What good is it to make all the money if you got to turn around and hand it all back? So make sure you guys are doing all the right stuff. And Max, once again, thank you for coming on. Guys, drop any comments down below you guys have in terms of questions about tax and regulation. We want to see that. So in the future, we know kind of what direction to go with these videos, because this is one of the most important topics out there and also one of the most misunderstood. So you guys make sure to drop those down below. Thanks for joining us, Max. That's all I got. Be blessed. Boy out.